Good morning and welcome to our first match reaction show straight after the game, brought to you straight from Brisbane, Australia. So, as you can see, there's a little bit of sunshine coming through my window. So this is the first day show I've done. But yeah, we've just finished watching on the box. Dave, what do you think, mate?
Should have stayed in bed, mate. I think if that was a fart, it would have been silent, wouldn't it?
Oh, mate, it was drab. It was drab. Let's get it straight. It was a win that we needed. That's 2 on the bounce. I'll take that. But we made it really, really difficult, didn't we?
Yeah, I thought it was going to penalties. I was glad to nick it at the end there. But yeah, it was. I think we've said it a few times. What is it you say? The running the bath without the plug in it. With old Souček and Ward-Prowse in the middle.
Mate, it was hard to watch, especially when I saw that starting lineup. I was like, let's start with the starting lineup. What did you think?
Yeah, well, I thought it would have been good to see Cresswell get a run out, but he pulled up, didn't he? I don't think, although he did very well, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I don't think the left is really his side, is it? But I think he can run both of those positions. But the thing for me is obviously the midfield trio. I just don't think that was ever going to create anything, was it?
No, I mean, as you've just said, like I see it like running a bath without putting the plug in. Yeah, them two in the middle, they just don't work. They're not dynamic enough for how I think Lopetegui wants to play football. So I don't know why he keeps persisting on trying to do it, because this was a perfect game in my eyes where he could have changed it. He could have put Paqueta and Kudus in the middle. I think that was there. That was on because he had Alvarez to back him up as well. I mean, that was the game where I feel like we could have really tried something and let him see what them three could do together. I mean, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he was always going to play the fringe players to extent. I think Ward-Prowse is probably always going to get a run, right? But I just think Souček seems to have found his way into the starting lineup and the finishing lineup, doesn't he? He didn't seem to want to sub him or anything at the moment. So I think that just leaves us a bit flat. And I think late in the game we had Guido come on and Paqueta, and I thought we were going to see Alvarez, Guido, and Paqueta, and my lips kind of moistened slightly, let's say. But then fucking Souček stayed on, so we didn't really get to see that, unfortunately.
No, he just look. Souček, for everything that he does, he also nullifies what we're trying to become, and it's becoming a hindrance now on the team as like a 90-minute team. He's not part of it in my eyes. Like, I just think it was a real tough watching that first half, especially with them two in the middle. But I think he's got to change it now. Like, he's got to have seen enough from that midfield to say it's got to change. It's got to move on. He's got to have more. He's got to have it more dynamic than that.
Maybe if Souček had 90 minutes, he might start someone else on Sunday. I can't see it, though. I think he seems to be in favour, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. So going with starting lineup then, apart from them in the middle, is there any surprises or anything that you saw there that you were a bit surprised about, or anything that you would like to have seen?
Not surprised. I guess what I liked was a few glimpses from Somerville. I thought he had some spark about him, lacking a little bit of end product maybe. Aaron Wan-Bissaka obviously showed some nice little bits of flair. But yeah, I think that midfield kind of left us flat, and it didn't really give much service to Füllkrug, who desperately needs some minutes, right? So it was right to start him, but he ended up a bit frustrated there, didn't he?
I'm not surprised he was frustrated because, and for me, if he's got a ball-playing centre midfielder who can unlock them passes, them key passes that we need in that final third, Souček and James WP. I'm mixing.
That'll do.
Them two are not the boys to do it. I don't think. So going forward, I think he needs to play with people behind him who can unlock them passes.
And I think the game plan, to me, like you put that midfield on, and you're looking at handing over early possession and sitting back, aren't you? And we just should not be doing that at home to Bournemouth, should we?
No,
In any competition.
and I'll tell you what. Thanks, mate. Gatesy, cheers, mate. We are getting closer to that 1,000. We'd love to hit 1,000 in the next couple of weeks. I think we're about 75 off it. So just a little plug there to see if we can nudge it a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, I think Bournemouth, they're a Premier League team, but so are we. But the way we ended up with the players that we had on that pitch when we ended that game is like we should be playing these teams out of the water, mate, in my eyes.
We should. Look, I guess there's one train of thought, right, that we are through to the next round. We've given them some minutes and run out to some fringe players. And he'll probably look at that retrospectively and go, yeah, job done. But it could have gone horribly wrong as well, couldn't it? Like we were a couple of minutes away from penalties. I would have liked to have seen us, like you say, put something out that can put us on the front foot and get an easy win and get through a lot easier, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, it's all the main thing is we're in the hat for the next round. That is the main thing. And obviously this team is still new. This is still a new structure for them. It's a new structure for Lopetegui. Like there is still a long way to go. But we've got 2 wins this season so far, 1 in the cup, 1 in the league, and we're off to not a bad start, considering that we only lost 2-1 to Villa. But tonight was all about experiment for me, and I don't think he experimented enough. I think he only did it half.
What would you have done in terms of a starting lineup, mate?
Well, I like the fact I would probably have put Kudus and Rodriguez in the middle. If I'm being honest, I would like to have seen that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of JWP and Souček in the middle together. I've said that from the other week. It's not my cup of tea on how we play football, especially with the players around that centre midfield. We need players who can actually ping the passes around, and them two aren't that. They're not dynamic enough for that level of football.
Yeah, I think given Souček's had 90 minutes in the first couple of games, he actually had the opportunity to sit him out of this one, didn't he?
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
that's what I thought, mate. But I mean, I wouldn't disagree with a Füllkrug move. I think that was good to see, but that just goes to show playing up front on Saturday against City. In my eyes, I think Antonio take that top role again. What did you actually think of Füllkrug's overall contribution?
Yeah, look, what I say about him, right, is every time he's had minutes, he just hit the nail on the head. He hasn't had the support and the supply, has he? So you kind of feel sorry for him. He's going for scraps. He had that one sort of long shot that took a deflection and stuff. He struggled to get in it, and I think frustration probably sums it up, that he didn't really have the service. He's not getting the chance to play with the likes of Kudus and Paquetá that are going to put chances on a plate for him. So you kind of hope that doesn't sort of drain away at his head, you know, if that keeps happening.
Have we seen this before? Mate. Have we seen this before?
Oh, yeah, over and over. Exactly, we have.
Not fair, is it, really? Like, you can't afford to keep bringing these big strikers in and then expecting them to play a completely different way to how you're probably telling them that we're going to play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no matter who we get in, Antonio ends up starting, doesn't he?
Exactly, but
takes that mantle.
It seems to just be tailored around the way that Antonio plays, and I think he needs to look at that, because, I mean, when Ings came on with Füllkrug the other day, it looked good enough. I kind of thought that I might have seen Danny Ings at some point today, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, obviously it didn't happen. Well, we're kind of running out of options at the end there, weren't we? You just rolled the dice a bit, and for me, leaving Souček on was probably, you know, a bit over conservative. I don't think you needed to do that. Maybe you could have hooked Souček and put Ings on for the last 5 or 10 minutes, like you say.
Especially with being a cup game. Like, I look at cup games like you need to go for it. This isn't a 3-point thing. So I don't know why he didn't go a little bit more expansive in terms of approach in the second half. I thought, of course, he brought on the likes of Kudus, Paquetá, but he still kept in the team Souček, who I think is probably the hindrance on how we should be playing, especially if we want to go forward and attack. But I mean, going back to the first half, so Todibo started. What did you think of his performance?
Not too bad. A couple of shaky areas, I thought. And he got that yellow card as well, didn't he? Which was probably a little bit, put him on the ropes a little bit. And I think I'm hoping that's the reason he was taken off at half time. I haven't heard anything about an injury. Have you?
No, not that I know of. I mean, obviously he went in for that late tackle to nick the ball, or try and nick the ball, but he ended up fouling their player on the halfway line. But that change of pace, I did like that. I like the change of pace that he had. But Mavropanos came on in the second half. To be honest, again, shaky. He's so up and down. Like he can make a really good decision, then he can make a really bad one really quickly in quick succession. And it's really hard to get my head around. Is he just not quite the finished product yet, or is he still learning? Like, because when he shows that bit of brilliance, you're like, fuck me, we've got a really good player there. And then all of a sudden he just does something really quickly that takes that away from your thought process, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. There was one moment, wasn't there, where they both got caught up and beaten by the striker. He actually recovered it really, really well, but he kind of was caught totally flat-footed, and they were totally beaten for pace, the pair of them. But he did get back, and he did get a foot in to at least take away the immediate danger. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. He's one of those players. He either has a blinding game, and you go, well, yeah, we've got a player on our hands here, or he just goes out and has a couple of errors, and today he showed that in the space of about 90 seconds, he did both the brilliant and the stupid all in one. Yeah.
One good sight to see today was Alvarez was back in that starting lineup. I think he makes such a difference in that midfield, mate. He's a general.
Yeah.
And he literally, what his nickname is, he is a little machine. He's everywhere on that park. And I love the fact that today I saw him demanding that ball a lot more off players as well. I mean, there was one instance where Sefao looked at him, then didn't give it to him, and he was like, fucking give me the ball. I'm in space. And this is where I think sometimes with the players that ain't on that wavelength, we've got so many that are such intelligent footballers, but then we've got some that just aren't on that wavelength. And it just changes that course of play of football in that vital moment when we need it.
Yeah, I agree. You see him with his arms up there showing himself. He always wants the ball, doesn't he? He wants to receive it deep and sort of take it on, take it forward. He's a quality player. He makes perfectly timed tackles. I know he gets the yellow card because he'll fuck one up during the course of a game. Didn't get one today though, did he? No. But I was to say his control on the ball for a big man is really good, isn't it?
Mm. Oh, without a doubt, and I think him and Rodriguez are the partnership. If you're going to sit in that two anchor role, like you got to stick them two in there. I think Rodriguez came into his own today. I thought he was calm, he was collective when he came on. He can be a special player for us this year. He looks after the ball, and I think that's really important when you're in that position. And it's something that we do too much in that centre of midfield, especially when JWP and Souček are in there. We don't look after the ball enough, and we constantly give it away. So, personally, I would like to see Alvarez and Rodriguez sitting on Saturday against City.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've actually seen that in every game Guido's played, to be honest. I know he's obviously got to get used to a different country and different way of playing, but he is very comfortable on the ball. And I think you're right. You hit the nail on the head. Calmness. He can play a very simple pass very easily and comfortably. He's not going to lose the ball, and he can put that calmness in the midfield that maybe Souček's kind of running around like a headless chicken, getting through a lot of work. But I think that is the better option, and the double anchor, like you say, of him and Alvarez, I think will work really well on Sunday.
What was your? It was nice to see Fabianski get a run out as well today. I mean, personally, I think his performance was really good. made a couple of really good saves. One from the back heel flick in the first half, which I thought was, for a 40-year-old man, I'm sure not many could get down like that, if you know what I mean. But I thought it was brilliant, commanding his box as well. What did you think of old Fab, Super Fab?
Yeah, definitely. I think that save you just pointed out, mate, that was unbelievable. It was a very cheeky, audacious little effort as well. It was a brilliant passage all round, and yeah, like you said, the way he got down to it was pretty good. It also was pretty commanding in the dying minutes of the game, I thought, where he was needed to be alert. He pounced on a late ball that could have been a chance otherwise. Which would have made it 1-1 on penalties. So, and you'd fancy him in a penalty shootout anyway, wouldn't you? But you just don't want to go to that. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, in terms of man of the match, everyone in the chat, if you want to stick your man of the match in, that'd be good. And if you've got any questions or anything that you want us to answer, then we'll chuck them up. We'll only be on for another 4 or 5 minutes. Just a quick one. This is our first quick match reaction. So hopefully you like it anyway. But yeah, who was your man of the match?
Look, yeah, it's hard to pick. It was a little bit flat all round, but I think AWB, the stuff that he did, there was one little moment where they were kind of through, and he comes in, he just gives a shoulder barge and just completely nullifies the attack. I thought that was excellent. And also going forward, he's got a spark, hasn't he?
Definitely. I thought it was outstanding today, especially at the back. I thought it was brilliant. He's definitely someone that because I remember you used to say about Ben Johnson not being able to cross the ball, right?
Yeah.
I've got a fear. I don't think he can cross the ball that well. I don't think he's very, he's not cute and not neat enough to cross that ball in when he gets into them areas. But going forward, as in striding forward with the ball, I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, I think the difference is right that maybe you can get away with, and I think you're right. I don't think he has got a cross in him. I think where he gets away with it, it's just the other stuff that he brings to the game. It's the link up play when he goes forward. He's really smart with the way he lays it off. It's kind of like he does a surge which takes the ball up there, and he just plays a perfect little ball to bring the winger in or the sort of central midfielder. And I think he's not going to get found out the same way as Ben Johnson did when he found his way up there, that he just had no options.
Yeah.
But if you can't cross, you're just going to hit the front man and lose the ball. Whereas AWB's got a couple of other things in his locker going forward.
Oh, definitely, mate. And especially when it come to the defending part of his game today, I thought everyone has said this in the game, that he's the best one-on-one defender in the Premier League, and I think he's shown that in abundance in the couple of games that we've seen so far. So yeah. I think going forward we've got a really fucking good player there, mate, and I think he could potentially push his way into that England team.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I want to see him starting for West Ham. Do you think he'll take Soufal's position on Sunday?
I hope so.
He needs to. I would have liked to have seen him start last weekend. Obviously, he didn't. Interesting to see if he's played his way in. I would hope so.
I don't see how he wouldn't have pleaded a case there. In the last 2 games we've seen of him, he's everything that Soufal isn't. So why wouldn't you have a back 4 of Emerson, Kilman, Mavro or Todibo and Aaron Wan-Bissaka? That's your 4 in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
4 or 5, depending on how you look at it.
4 or 5, yeah. I think ultimately that spot's got to go to Todibo, but I think at the moment Mavropanos hasn't done enough to get himself chucked out of the team yet, has he? He's been pretty sound in those first couple of league games, so it'd be very harsh to hook him out at this stage, I think. But I would definitely have AWB in there starting ahead of Soufal, for sure.
Obviously, going into the next round now, what's your dream?
My dream, another home tie, I think.
Yeah.
Don't really want to go away anywhere.
I like the away games though. Even watching on TV, I love seeing the little shitty grounds. I prefer. I like it. I'm a bit of a fan of the cup for that reason. I like the old grounds. I mean, obviously we don't get to go because it's too far, but yeah, I'm sure all the away fans going to them games would love a little League One tie. I think definitely.
Yeah, that's true. It's different when you're out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of getting through, though, I think another a championship side at home or something like that probably be probably a simple-ish tie for us. Yeah, look, or like you say, against the League One side away from home, we've slipped up on those in the past, though, haven't we? I remember AFC Wimbledon a few years ago gave us a bit of a run for our money.
Was that the one with when Arnautovic did the "I'm Back" video? Because that was Oxford, or I think it was Oxford actually. Might have been.
Yeah.
Just lost to fucking some League Two team, and then they announced Arnautovic is staying. I was like, "Fucking, you got that one wrong, didn't you?"
Yeah.
But no, it's just good to be in the hat for the next round. I'd be happy with any lower league opposition in an away game. I think it sort of, I don't know. I think it brings players back down to earth a little bit. I think some need that sometimes. What did you think of Kudos anyway when he came on?
He wasn't at full. He wasn't at full pace, I don't think. But obviously, he's gone and done what he needed to do to create. I guess the winner is a cross that ended up coming in, and I actually thought he took it on as a shot, but took a nice deflection off whatever part of Bowen you want to decide it was. I think there's a lot of people calling for the hand, but
the thing is, Bowen always does this. I've noticed that if something, he's always involved in something that's a little bit controversial, like if it's a goal or something like that. And the other team's players always want to ask him about it, and he always seems to want to give an answer, sort of not an excuse, but sort of like justify what's happened. It's like, tell him to fuck off. That's what I'd say anyway. But that's probably why not many people like me. But that's all right. That's fine. I don't mind it. But he's just such a nice player, and what a player he was. But what player he is. But I thought when Kudos come on, mate, I think he's harder to please for you, but for me, the way he holds onto that ball, like he deserves a little run in that centre of midfield as well, man.
Oh yeah, sorry, don't get me wrong. I think he has incredibly high standards. Right, he is by far our best player. He's more consistent than Paquetá. He's got an awful lot of ball control, tricks, flicks. He's strong. He beats players. He is massive for West Ham. He's what gives me hope that we might actually do something this season. To be honest, I guess what you're saying. He definitely changed the game today for sure. I just think he's always got a lot more in his locker, hasn't he?
Oh, definitely. But I think he deserves that little chance in his actual position that he wants to play.
Oh, to actually play the number 10 role for sure.
Yeah. I think he deserves a right now to sort of have a go at that. So yeah, I mean, we're into the next round. Happy days. Hopefully you like this little match reaction. We're going to try and do these on a bit more of a regular basis. We will be having an interactive show tonight with a few of our lads jumping on board, and hopefully you boys can get along and watch it with them. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And thanks, Dave. And hopefully that will start your day off lovely, mate.
It is, mate. It's always good to start the day with a win, isn't it?
Yeah. So one thing left to say.
Cheers.
Come on, you eyes.